Thunder cracks. A stretcher rolls through the ER doors. Riley freezes mid-step. Because the injured woman on the stretcher is whispering her name. Riley James had worked the night shift for 3 years, and nothing, not injury, not loss, not chaos, could shake her anymore. At least, that's what she made people believe. She was calm, collected, steady. A lighthouse in the storm. But inside, she was drowning. Every shift began the same: tie her hair back, tighten her ponytail, smile at the exhausted staff, and pretend she hadn't spent the drive over wiping tears from her eyes. Nobody knew about the voicemail she kept saved on her phone. Nobody knew the voice belonged to her estranged younger sister. And nobody knew the last words she heard from her were, "Riley, please call me back." That was 11 months ago. Riley never called. Tonight felt like every other night, until it wasn't. She was charting vitals when the ER doors burst open. Rain and cold air rushed in as paramedics pushed a stretcher through. Ethan was at the front, soaked from the storm. "Found her unconscious near Riverside," he said. "Hit and run." Severe shock. Riley stepped closer to help, and the world tilted. The woman's lips trembled. Barely audible. Almost lost in the noise. But Riley heard it. "Riley," the woman whispered. Her name. Her heart stuttered. Her breath cut short. The pen in her hand fell to the ground. "No, no, it can't be," Riley murmured, her legs refusing to move. But the universe didn't care what she wanted. Not tonight. Ethan noticed the panic flooding her eyes. "Riley? You okay?" She shook her head, a tiny, broken motion. Her fingers trembled as she pulled the blanket down just enough to see the woman's face. Bruised. Pale. Bleeding from the temple. But unmistakable. It was her sister. The room spun. A sound escaped her, half gasp, half prayer. Every regret she'd buried came crashing back, the argument that ended everything, the stubborn silence that stretched months, the birthday she ignored, the apology she never sent. Mrs. Alden, the elderly patient in the next bed, watched Riley's face collapse. "You look like you've seen a ghost, sweetheart." Riley swallowed hard. "It feels like I have." Before she could gather herself, the monitors began to beep erratically. Her sister's heart rate dropped, sharp, sudden, terrifying. Ethan cursed. "She's crashing." Riley's training kicked in, but her body lagged behind her mind. Her gloves wouldn't go on right. Her breathing was uneven. She reached for the oxygen mask but fumbled, dropping it onto the floor. "Riley!" Ethan barked. "Focus." But she couldn't. Not when the only family she had left was slipping away. Not when the last thing her sister said to her was a plea she ignored. Her sister's eyes flickered open for a second, cloudy, unfocused, and Riley leaned in, desperate, shaking. "Lila," she whispered, voice cracking. "It's me. I'm here. I'm right here." But Lila's eyes rolled back, and the monitor's beeping slowed into something that made Riley's blood freeze. Flat. Almost flat. Ethan grabbed the crash cart. Riley stepped back, tears burning her cheeks. "No, no, not like this," she whispered. "Not. Before I can tell her I'm sorry." The overhead speaker crackled. Code blue, trauma bed 4. And for the first time in 3 years, Riley's world stopped. Wait, answer these questions in the comment before we continue. Do you think Riley will get the chance to tell her sister the truth? Will Lila survive long enough to hear the apology Riley's been carrying in her heart? Should Riley forgive herself, or is it too late? Now let's continue. Riley had faced countless emergencies. She'd held the hands of dying strangers, comforted families in the darkest hours, and stitched together wounds deeper than flesh. But nothing prepared her for the sight of her younger sister lying still on that hospital bed. She stood frozen as Ethan and the trauma team worked around her, shouting vitals and calling for epinephrine. Monitor screamed. Gloves snapped. The world spun in fast, frantic circles. Riley felt like a ghost watching her own life fall apart. Charge to 200, someone yelled. Ethan glanced at her, voice low but sharp. Riley. Stay with me. You need to breathe. But how could she? Her lungs felt trapped behind 11 months of regret. When the defibrillator pads touched Lila's chest, Riley squeezed her eyes shut. A jolt. A thud. A pause that felt like a lifetime. Then. Beep. Beep. Slow. Weak. But back. The team exhaled in relief. But Riley didn't. Not yet. Lila wasn't out of danger. She was unconscious, drifting somewhere between tomorrow and goodbye. They moved her to ICU. Riley followed like a shadow. Hours passed. It was almost dawn when Riley finally sat beside her sister's bed, hands shaking as she tucked a strand of hair behind Lila's bandaged head. Machines hummed softly. The window glowed with the first hints of morning. Riley held Lila's cold hand.
You called me, and I didn't call back. I thought you didn't need me anymore.
I thought you didn't need me anymore. A small, frail sound came from the bed. Barely movement. Barely breath. But then, Lila's fingers twitched. Riley's heart nearly collapsed from relief. Lila, she whispered. Lila's eyes struggled open, heavy and unfocused. Her voice was a cracked whisper. Riley. I didn't want to bother you. Riley broke. Bother me? She leaned forward, forehead almost touching her sister's hand. You're the only family I have left. I should have called you. I should have tried harder. I should have fought for us. Tears slid down Lila's temple, disappearing into the pillow. I messed up too, Lila whispered. I said things I didn't mean. I just missed you. Riley let out a sound that was half sob, half laugh. You scared me to death tonight, she whispered, brushing Lila's cheek. But you brought me back to life, too. Lila blinked slowly. Can we fix this? She asked, voice fragile. Riley clasped her hand tighter. Yes, she whispered. One breath at a time. Later that morning, Ethan appeared at the doorway. He didn't say anything, didn't need to. The soft smile on his face said enough. You okay? He asked. Riley nodded, wiping her cheeks. Not yet. But I will be. Mrs. Alden, who'd been transferred to the room beside them, peeked around her curtain with a knowing grin. Told you, sweetheart, she said. Some ghosts come back so you can set them free. Riley laughed through her tears. Lila recovered slowly, but steadily. And for the first time in a long time, Riley let herself hope. She spent every break reading Lila's favorite books, braiding her hair, and listening, really listening, to the sister she'd almost lost twice, once through pride, and once through fate. One evening, Lila whispered, Why did you stay with me this whole time? Riley kissed her forehead. Because love doesn't walk away, she said softly. Fear does. And I'm done being afraid. It's never too late to choose love over regret, as long as you're willing to reach back before the moment slips away. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Share it with someone you love, someone you're ready to forgive. And if you believe in stories that heal, uplift, and remind us what truly matters, follow for more.